Hi, it's Rebecca, Empathic Crow. I know this is a strange angle, but we're going to make it work. I'm trying to do multiple things at one time, and so we'll see how that works. So we're going to use the Crow Tarot by MJ Cullinane. Then we will use the Intuitive Whispers by Maud Hurst, and then this Haunted Echoes Oracle deck. Some of the cards are misspelled on this. It is just a card deck that I got from Amazon, but the messages are pretty clear and often very helpful. The chakras that are coming to me are root chakra, solar plexus chakra, and heart chakra. So we've got a zebra jasper with pyrite dragon head, an African bloodstone dragon head, my black obsidian skull, smoky quartz. I might say this wrong, prehnite, Prehnite, I think. Very much so, heart chakra, malachite. So there's some big healing that is going on right now. And with malachite, sometimes we have to understand that this is a stone of transformation. And so transformation is hard. I feel like that's where we have garnet, that heart chakra and root chakra coming through very strongly. And then also with the pyrite and the zebra jasper, again, like I said, we're looking at solar plexus chakra as well. So let's shuffle the cards a few times and we will get started. So I know I've kind of been MIA for a little while. I do want to do the zodiac readings for September. I also still need to do the Reiki for September, the Reiki video for subscribers to the empathiccrow1111.com website. I do also have the giveaway going on, and that will be wrapping up this weekend unless I need to extend it, because I think I've only had a few entries to that, so I may need to reword things. Do apologize. I have been working a job and building Empathic Crow, and I was sick twice in about a 6-week period. Do not forget to take your vitamin D, and if you're deficient like me, do not take the wrong dose and not get enough. It will knock you out. But at the same time, I'm grateful that it forced me to take a little bit of rest. We all need rest, and that self-care is so important. All right, Seven of Swords. So it's understanding that whatever you feel like you've had to fight against in the past, it's coming to a closure. And it did hurt. Like, if we look at this, you've got a crow flying away from two other crows. They're not even looking at each other. There's feathers that have been lost. That could be feeling like aspects of yourself or relationships lost. And the crows flying away with their swords, like, kind of, I'm taking my things. I'm going to still stay somewhat guarded, but I'm done and I'm flying away. And I feel like this is saying it's time for you to move forward from whatever it is that felt like a battle, because it's not helpful to you. It's not helpful to others. And it may mean that you've lost some friendships or situations that seemed like they were helpful or they were a good thing to start with, but they're not. All right, since that one started to flip, we'll look at that. Oh, that makes sense. So the High Priestess is coming through. There may be still, with this moon, some anxieties, some things that you feel like are hidden or were hidden. It's coming to light, whether that's things about yourself or things about others. It could be, I'm kind of feeling like that you recognize where, even though you didn't want the things that happened, there were decisions that you made that kept you stuck in that place. Like, it felt like a battle, and whether you were coming from a position of trying to be helpful and caring, it just, in the end, it's not going to change. It wasn't worth it. In order for change to happen, you have to make that happen. And with this being the High Priestess, I feel like intuitively you knew all along that things were not going to work out, that something else needed to happen. And the sword is popping out at me immediately. And so I think part of it, you know, like with this Seven of Swords, was just it was like a battle in your mind. It was feeling stuck, feeling like you couldn't move forward. With the veil that's behind this high priestess, I feel like for me in this situation, it feels like the blindfold, like the cloth is being removed, like the wool removed from your eyes, like you're feeling more in tune, feeling more awake. Like the things that were going on, you could see them, the things you needed to do, you knew, but now it's like full disclosure is kind of what I'm seeing. So what needs to happen now? Where does the person or people this resonates with, what do they need to do? So we've got temperance. So it's bringing in that balance. So I started recording this earlier and then I stopped because my brain wasn't braining with the words. So I can't remember if I've shown the stones that I have, but again, we have a lot of that root chakra, heart chakra, solar plexus connection. And so this is where you're really needing to balance. So it's not just being all in your head and kind of maybe having those intuitive thoughts, but then solar plexus is coming in and the anxiety is coming in and you're overthinking it. Root chakra is unbalanced. You're feeling like you're not sure if this is a stable foundation. You're feeling ungrounded, whatever it is. Now's the time to create that balance. And also to have patience. It's being able to really focus on how you manage your emotions as well, with this water coming in and the cups being there, and understanding with this halo and the wings that whether it's higher self, angels, guides, universe, source, whatever it is, that calling on that higher aspect can be helpful to you, and trusting the signs that you get. Like the daffodils, I see those often as a new beginning, and then especially having the solar plexus and sacral chakra, looking at kind of, like I said, balancing those anxieties and really stepping into focusing on your self-worth, that passion, that creativity. But I feel like in this also, it's saying watch for the signs, like with the angel wings and the flowers, and even the triangle. It feels like just if there's something that feels like it's pointing you in a certain direction, or it's confirming something, it's validating something, trust that. And as I was looking at the crow just now, I heard you got to pour into your own cup. So if you've been giving and giving and giving to everybody else, and that's part of why it's felt like a battle and you're exhausted, you've got to pour into your own cup. You've got to do that self-care. It's so necessary. We forget it sometimes because we're just trying to exist and do all the things, and then we get to this point where we're burnt out. So what is the outcome? If time is taken in self-care, what is the outcome? So Page of Pentacles, it's going to put you on a path where you're going to be able to even more clearly see the new beginning. We have the flowers up the top, we have the red flowers at the bottom, like really building that grounding and stability so that you can become abundant in your life. But at the same time, understanding that abundance, that may be work and financial, but it also may be just abundance in relationships, in the types of relationships you have. It can be abundance in joy. It can be abundance in sleep. It can be abundance in anything, but that you're creating a more stable situation. So the page means that the outcome is you're going to start moving down this path. Already you're in a situation where you're being forced out of the old. You can't stay in that anymore. Anything else from the tarot? Well, that just fell out. So what fell out was the Magician. So just like with the High Priestess, where we see that all of the elements are there, you've got the intuition and you've got the tools. You can create and manifest what it is that you desire. But in order to do that, it's letting go of that Seven of Swords. Don't know why I said wands. It's interesting. But letting go of that Seven of Swords, like letting go of the past things that have happened and finding a balance, kind of refocusing, balancing, and really thinking about what it is that you want. Because once you're clear on it, and once you're in that space where you're feeling like it's more likely to happen, that you are more capable of doing it, you're going to manifest it without hardly any effort, because you've already put the work in. And it's not going to be completely without some obstacles. There's the mountain back here. But at the same time, we've got the sun coming up in the background. You're creating this. You are the creator. You get to make decisions for yourself. So with the Intuitive Whispers, let's see what we get from that deck. Like I said, I know this is a strange angle, but I believe in using the space and the resources that you have when you've got the time. All right. So Maud Hurst, Intuitive Whispers. What do we need to know from this deck? What's the supporting information? Oh yes, 6, tap into your sacral power. So we talked about that creativity, that passion, that drive, can even be intimacy, but really looking at what it is that you want and really representing yourself as yourself without worry about the judgment of others. And look at how this flower is blossoming, and then we've got 2 cheetahs on either side. So understanding that there's that intuition and that power that you hold within yourself. And look down at the bottom, like it's like the universe is there for you. And really just it's blossoming from that sacral chakra, which in order to do that, as you see there's a letter red in the card, you have to, like with the red flowers down here at the bottom, you've got to ground yourself. That root chakra work has to happen. What else? So 6, tapping into your sacral power. Anything else from the Intuitive Whispers that will be helpful on this journey? 16, which breaks down to a 7. We started with the 7 of Swords. Release old patterns. And so that's exactly what I was saying. We've got the moon in here, which I talked about with the High Priestess, letting go of those anxieties, and where we started with the 7 of Swords. Releasing the old patterns, letting go of the things that you don't need anymore. There's a labyrinth down here, and with labyrinths, sometimes it can feel really confusing. You're having to navigate and try to figure out what the best path is. And that's where, you know, we have the Page and the Temperance card. It's slowing you down so that you can figure out what it is that you truly want. You can get to the end of that tunnel to whatever that prize is for you. And even, look, we've got the sun coming out in both of these cards. So we'll shuffle through this Intuitive Whispers deck one more time and see if there's anything else for that message. But if not, we will move on to the Haunted Echoes Oracle deck. Excuse me. Ragweed is in full swing and I am losing my voice. We've got cards wanting to jump. All right. And the 2 chakras right here that I talked about. So you had 6, which was sacral chakra. And now we've got 7, which you've got a lot of 7s in here. And 7 is such a sacred number, such a special number in so many different areas. Wisdom of the solar plexus, number 7. So tapping into that sacral power, and then also being able to, like, this is totally that High Priestess card and what I was talking about, releasing the anxieties and the fear and focusing on the intuition that you have, the knowing that you have, but also with all this red, being grounded, finding that balance and being grounded. 100%, that is very much so a very clear message. Please excuse me, my shirt is a little big on me. All right, so we're going to pull 1 or 2 cards from the Haunted Echoes deck, unless more come out, because sometimes that happens. And I think this reading is pretty straightforward and on point. I mean, it's releasing those old patterns and really knowing that you can create something different. It may not have felt like you had the power and control in the past, And sometimes we give that power up because we're trying so hard to help others or focus on all the chaos that's going on around us. And sometimes we got to get more quiet and go into that hermit mode and allow ourselves to rest and rebalance, go into that temperance and peace. So the card that we first got from this one is Lost in Time. Don't wait for permission to move on. Seize the moment. Take action now. So yeah, letting go of that past, letting go of the things that happen. The opportunities are going to come. You don't have to have permission for it. It's just you being able to decide what it is that's going to be best for you. What do you need? What do you want? And getting that clarity, it doesn't mean that you have to have a complete plan. It doesn't mean that you have to think about how you're navigating through this whole maze. Because if you focus only on the planning, then you never move. So as it says, take action now. What is something that you can do that takes a step in the direction you want to go? The rest of it will fall into place. The rest of it, you can make those choices as you go. Because if you try to just sit and plan, not only are you stuck, but you may miss an opportunity that you would have had if you had moved forward. Restful response. Let yourself observe with no judgment to see clearly. Thoughtful action. And that just rounds off everything that I just said. It's being thoughtful and being able to think through things, letting go of the judgment of yourself, of others, things that happened in the past, so that you can focus on what you want now. What do you want to create for your future? Because you got the High Priestess and the Magician, so you have all the tools. Use them wisely. Take time to rest. Work on balancing those chakras. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week and weekend. Take care.